Hey, what's going on, YouTube? We're
What's
the Free
going
for All.
on?
God damn it.
What's up, guys?
We're the Free for All podcast. I'm Josh Barnett alongside Evan Swafford, Trey Elliott, and Chuck Nally.
Hi.
We're
We're
about-
just free for all right now.
Well, you're right. I did say podcast, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're about to get into our second half of our podcast in which we talk about the games we've been playing, but as a sweet exclusive for you guys,
Sweet.
Evan's going to get hammered. What was that?
That's his pre-drinking.
You gotta
clear the throat a little
preparation.
bit?
Yeah.
All right, so what was it about?
4 months ago?
No, it was longer than that. It was right when we came back from Valentine's Day, so it was February.
I missed.
God.
I had a baby for you first time watchers.
Well, he didn't. His wife did.
Yeah, I impregnated her. and,
Right, with semen.
How did
Yes.
how did that go down?
Sex.
Smooth.
Oh,
Yeah, that
It's like-
time she didn't
it's
get
like
pregnant.
Keystone.
oh, you're divorced if she ever watches.
So I missed from mid November, and my first show back outside of the awards that I got special permission to do was I believe 1st of April.
Something like
Sounds
that.
Sounds
about
all
right.
right.
So one of
So
the
somewhere
things,
around then.
one of the things
I
you,
missed some things.
yeah, you missed. We tried some moonshine. Me and Kristen went a little crazy at
That
the
looks
old
like new
Smoky.
grape.
It kind of is. This is blackberry
Ooh,
moonshine.
I do like blackberry.
I think
I
last
don't
time
have any what?
I was gonna say last time we drank this, I think I talked about the fact that this looks like the stuff from Zapped, that movie
You did.
in the '80s.
So taste test
Yeah.
here.
I don't recall.
Chug half
little-
of it.
Little tug, little pull. That's how Jaylee got pregnant.
That is sweet.
Yep.
All right, that's one down.
Holy crap, that's sweet.
Yeah. I'll be up later.
Parenting.
All right, next, kids and whatnot. Next one here is Greenbrier apple.
Man, whatever to get that blackberry out of my mouth.
We're a well put together show.
Oh,
Indeed.
man.
Go for it. Do it. Drink the lime green liquid.
I'll try some. I don't remember the apple. Oh yeah, now I gotta try it.
It's a
I
little
know,
bit.
at first, I was like, "That's not bad," and then it hit you.
It's just so sweet, right?
Yeah, it's.
I don't know how people drink that shit.
No, like regular moonshine, like real moonshine. This is in Tennessee, and if you go to Gatlinburg, which is a big tourist trap, there is this legal moonshine. It's a different distilling
nope.
process. Yes,
Nope.
exactly.
There's the grain alcohol.
This is
Oh my god.
This is not real moonshine.
No,
There's
it's not.
Rarely ever like sweet. Even like apple pie moonshine, which is really popular around here, not
Apple pie?
not sweet. You
Yeah.
can drink it like water, and it will put you on your ass. This also doesn't have the alcohol content. Yeah, that was better than blackberry.
That was the
Better than
history
the-
of Tennessee shine.
The kick is a little late on that.
All right, so this one,
It was urine.
more or less, this is pumpkin pie.
Ooh.
Gross.
Ooh.
More people will come if they think we have punch and pie.
Pumpkin.
Oh.
I wish it was punch and pie
Right?
moonshine.
Like Richard S.
No,
Pump-
that
David S.
that's a
Is
savory
David S.
smell.
Pumpkins?
Yes,
It
David
is
S.
savory.
Pumpkins.
That was it.
Savory smell. That was my
Wow,
nickname when I played basketball.
Man, this
Oh,
is,
you guys
hassle.
bought a lot of shine
This-
that's
this
not
is-
going drank.
This smells like fall.
The way that he was rearing back, I thought he was going to slam it.
I know.
The whole
I
thing.
thought about it, just trying to be fun. That is delightful.
You like that one? See, I thought this one was very sweet.
It is. It kind of cuts it though. Like there's, I don't know. I
The
li-
apple one I liked a lot.
This is the best.
It
This
is.
one is,
it-
Mountain Java. It's coffee moonshine.
I think I've had this.
Just tug it. That's good.
I'm going. I gotta clear the palate.
Oh, okay.
Gotta clear
Sorry.
the palate.
Clearing palettes is always interesting radio.
What if you just went and spit it out?
This is my last one.
That's your last one for now.
Kind of disappointed.
I mean, you can have some more. Yeah, that's a good one.
It's not bad.
It reminds me of Kahlua.
It's a lot like Kahlua.
Mm.
That's pretty good.
Oh, yeah. So,
Make
cheers.
some White Russians with that.
Yeah, you could. God, I like a good white Russian.
Indeed.
You make a hell of a Caucasian, Elliot.
You know what I've come to really like?
Caucasians.
Yeah, well, yeah. Not come to like. I've always liked Caucasians.
That's fair.
Mexicans is what I came to like.
Oh.
If you're a first time watcher,
Then we're racist, apparently.
I employ a lot of them.
It's not sounding better.
I'm close with several of them. I've known.
I mean,
several
he's
of them
not
for a
R.
long
Kelly.
time.
I've got friends who are black.
I was going to
It's
say,
cool.
are you legitimately pulling the "I've got black friends" card?
Well, I'm just saying, this is why we make that joke. Oh man, yeah, that sticks with you though.
I'm
That's
trying this
good.
pumpkin pie.
Punch
guy.
pie.
Yeah, punch a pie.
That's good. No, a Moscow Mule. I really come to like.
I've
Yeah,
still
Moscow
not
is
ever
cool.
had one.
Do you make them ordinary?
Yeah,
What just happened?
Something you know if you watch some fucking Fargo once in a
Fargo
while.
happened. Yeah, see, I wouldn't want more than like a small glass of that, but I can handle that. I don't want a glass ever of
The blackberry.
blackberry or the apple one.
I
I
like
like
the
the
apple one until the
Apple's good.
until the grain alcohol kicked in, and then you were
At
like, oh,
first
shit.
sip, I was like, "Well, this isn't that bad. Like, I don't love it, but it's not bad." And then I swallowed, and
Yeah.
It usually happens.
I should spit.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to get into the
Ladies.
actual podcast now. We'll be coming back from a break with that podcast, so let's do it.
Oh, that was awkward.
It was. And we're back.
Speaking of awkward,
What? I hate you guys so much.
It was a good break as always, Evan.
as always, Trey,
Goes down
As
smooth,
always.
doesn't it?
Coors Light is the way to chase 4 different types of kind of moonshine.
Kind of moonshine.
Yeah.
Um,
If it ain't got antifreeze in it, it ain't moonshine.
Yeah, you gotta risk poisoning to really have real moonshine.
is that actually what's in moonshine?
No.
It's
I mean, sometimes, yes.
it was outlawed because the way it was distilled gave you lead poisoning a lot of the times.
What? Who the fuck cares?
It was
What
really
doesn't?
outlawed because it wasn't taxed.
That was the main reason.
'Cause
And then it was
The government.
done behind, like, it was done, in secret, and that's when it became really dangerous.
Yeah, real moonshine still isn't like the way it's supposed to be distilled. Still is not legal, but what they do in Gatlinburg, Old Smoky, and a bunch of them, they can call it moonshine, but it's
Yeah.
not like
It's not.
real moonshine.
Let's talk some video games.
Wait, before we do that, I do have a real quick game that I want to play. I was
All right.
doing a little research earlier,
I
so
cheated, I think.
you cheated a little bit, sorta.
I didn't see anywhere near the amount that you were scrolling through because there was
In
a lot.
honor of
I
Josh,
think I know what that was referencing.
in honor of Josh, this game is called Sammy.
There's a
So
question
I'm
mark.
going to just say, I'm going to say the name of something that may or may not be a sandwich, and just, I want y'all's honest opinion.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Let's just go around. Like a chicken wrap.
Do I say, is that a sandwich?
Is it a sandwich? Do you think it's a sandwich?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is like okay, I know what you're saying.
It's the hot dog argument.
Yeah.
Is a wrap a sandwich?
No.
Okay. I don't think so either, but whatever.
It's a
Subway
fucking
told me
wrap.
it was.
Hamburger.
No. In menus, it's classified. It says hamburgers and sandwiches.
Okay.
Yeah, but I kind of consider it a sandwich.
It's a sandwich.
It's totally a sandwich.
It's not a sandwich at all, you liars.
What about a s'more?
No.
It's a sweet treat. I know that much.
I mean, it is sandwiched between 2 graham crackers.
It is. I mean, it kind of meets the criteria of sandwich.
Well, what is it? Tell me.
When's the last time you had like corned beef on graham cracker?
What about coined beef?
Because that's a thing.
No,
I
it's
mean,
not a sandwich.
It's a grain of sorts. I'm
I
gonna
like
say
how
yes.
Evan's like, yes, no. And then I've said the same thing, and Josh is over here like, well.
I want to give the topic its due fucking respect.
want
I
to talk
say
about
yes.
video games.
Sandwich?
Let's do
Okay.
this.
Sandwich.
No, I'm
What about a gyro?
Is it a sandwich?
Yeah.
In Greece.
No.
Yes.
No, it's not. Okay.
I also don't think. What about a pita pocket?
Man, I could go for some pita pockets right now.
I bet you could.
I'm really hungry.
The pita pit sucks.
I love it.
It sucks.
It's okay. I'm going to be the Switzerland here.
No, it's not a sandwich.
Yeah, it kind of ends. No, I'm gonna say no on that one.
No.
If you say that, you gotta say like a hot pocket is a sandwich.
Yeah, it's kind of more almost like burrito-esque in a way.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's not.
What about an ice cream sandwich? I mean,
Yes.
it's termed a sandwich.
That's a sandwich.
No.
It's the staple.
I was about to say, if you said yes, I was going to
No,
come
it's,
at you,
it's
bro.
an ice cream
It's the
sandwich,
staple
but it's
for
not
all
a sandwich.
sandwiches.
It's a fucking sandwich.
Okay, what about like a
That's delicious.
like a
too.
panini?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a sandwich.
Yeah,
It's just a
100%.
hot
It's
sandwich.
just a pressed sandwich.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's a hot press sandwich, one would
What
say.
about a hot dog?
No,
No.
it's a hot dog. It's a category all to its own.
I'm going to say no, but I'm borderline on it.
Okay, so the clinical definition of a sandwich is anything between two slices of bread. Between two slices of bread.
Yeah, it's kind of in a
So
slice of bread.
hamburger, yes. Wrap, no. Panini, yes. An open face sandwich, no. Ice cream sandwich, yes.
No.
That is.
Have you ever had an
it's a
ice cream
cookie.
on bread?
Maybe if you put it between two
White
slices
bread,
of
you could do it, but it doesn't matter. An ice cream sandwich, that is still a bread.
So no, you're that's fine. No, it's because it's cookie. It's not like bread.
Cookie or yeah.
It
like-
is
S'mores,
cookie.
no. Hot dog,
Cookie.
yes.
It's not between.
Chicken parm,
It's
yes.
wrapped, it's not
Sub,
between.
yes.
Yeah.
Pita, no. Gyro, no.
As soon when you get those shitty hot dog buns and like the part that's attached where you sit like the hot dog in that
Those
breaks.
are technically two slices of bread that are conjoined.
Really, it's
and
more
and
of
when
a,
they break apart, then the hot dog instantly becomes
your
a
best
sandwich.
argument is that it's your best argument is that it's an open face sandwich.
But it's still open face sandwich is not a sandwich. It doesn't have a top to it.
Then
It's
a hot
between
dog
two
would
s-
not be a sandwich.
It's two pieces of bread.
It's not. It's one piece.
It is one
It is
piece of bread.
clearly segmented.
It's been cut. So if
If
I cut a
you-
single piece of bread,
If
does
you
that
and
become a
Evan,
sandwich?
if you and Evan hug, you are not one person while you're hugging.
If we were conjoined twins and we had a segmented line between us, then we're easily separated. Then yeah, we were two people.
You
But if you were
changed
just
the
conjoined
question.
twins, you would be one person.
Then that wouldn't
You
be
would
twins.
be one person,
That would
you
just
would
be
say?
person.
You would have one body.
You say control. You
My
say conjoined
body.
twins are one
Tell
person.
me yeah.
They have one body.
No,
No,
they're
that's
not,
not-
one person.
Otherwise,
One-
it's not
conjoined,
twins.
Conjoined
it's a
twins
person.
have one body.
Yeah, but they have two different minds.
Right. I'm sorry, but we're not talking about people. We're talking about bread, and so we don't have to worry about brains.
I mean, I'm on your side. I
Hot
just don't like
dogs,
this
I mean, you never
metaphor.
know.
Yeah, conjoined twins are totally two people, man.
And I meant body. They have one body. I don't give a shit if there's 16 people in there. It's one fucking body.
Yeah,
Fucked
Legion.
up twin,
I'm just saying.
So what about pants? I mean, why not?
not sandwich.
Well, I know, but why not just pant? You know what I mean? Why is it multiples?
Are
'Cause
you
it's
doing like a
one
bad
thing.
Seinfeld bit? I don't understand.
No, it's a
What?
mediocre
Yeah.
Seinfeld bit. Anyway, that's Sammy. I was just really wondering, and that's Sammy.
You saw a lot more interesting things than what just came up,
Dude,
though.
there's some awesome
I thought you were going to
sandwiches.
bring up ham wallet when you talked about a money sandwich.
That's something I bring up. I also found a bunch of new names for that.
Well, that's good.
God, there are so many awesome sandwiches.
Let us talk
True
about
story.
video games.
Okay.
You guys played Speedrunners.
Yeah, Speedrunners!
Why didn't you play Speedrunners?
Because he hates the Xbox controller, Chuck.
That's
Duh.
fair.
And people.
No, I was playing against people online, but not with speedrunners.
Anyway,
So, yeah, I enjoyed Speedrunners a lot.
It's
Speedrunners is awesome. I wish we'd played it a little more.
With people, it is infinitely better than against the computer.
Or just randoms.
So yeah, just
online.
being able to have fun, because you will. There's so many like little revenge things that happen that are fast.
Oh, the hook brings you back.
yeah, it's
It's
very
bad.
chaotic in that way. And the game is basically, for those who haven't played it, is there's various sets of maps, up to 4 players, and you are literally in this race. There's different like weapons and stuff you can pick up, crates you can drop, like grappling hooks that'll let you attach to the guy in first place, that kind of thing, and different obstacles within each course. You can like grapple onto stuff to gain more speed or change momentum and all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, and it's just best out of 3 on those races. It's really fun, but it is fun when you're playing with people and it's chaotic. Like the crazy shit that happens is what makes that game stand out to me.
Yeah, and whenever you're going and no one has like died or anything like that, and the time starts clicking off, and then all 4
the
people
screen.
are in a little box, and the screen gets smaller and smaller with a red box that grows.
Yeah,
If you touch the red box, you die. And there were several times when you and I
we
specifically
had an epic battle.
like the screen was so small. Like if we didn't know what was coming next, we would obviously
Yeah, if you
die.
hadn't memorized the level at that point. Also, weirdly, I am way better at this game when drunk.
It's incredible.
It really is.
Like there's no reason for that. Like your synapses should not be firing at that kind of
I
capacity.
won way more when I was hammered
Yes.
drunk.
And it was also more fun because you just kept talking about taking another drinky poo.
I did do that.
It was really fun on our end.
It's a fun word.
Well, all right.
Especially in retrospect. But that game is awesome. It was free
It
on
is.
Xbox Live last month, and if you didn't get it, you missed out.
But you should still buy. If you have a group of friends to play with, it is absolutely worth
It
the
is
money.
also, if you have 4 controllers, it is 4-player couch co-op. You can
Yep.
all play on the same screen at the same time.
Yeah, and it's
awesome.
not split screen. It's all
Right.
yeah,
Yep, one screen.
much nicer.
I think my new favorite over Ham Wallet is Meat Crease.
Which is another name for a hot dog, which is a sandwich.
I've had a whole list. They're really good.
Well, all right
There's
then.
also a bologna flapover.
Cock pocket?
Yeah.
Cock pocket.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Flesh tuxedo.
All right, for the love of God.
Sweat box.
Chuck, did
Oh,
you
that's gross.
did you not finish Walking Dead season 3?
I didn't. They
We're
can talk
talking
about
about
it.
You guys are still talking about it?
Yeah.
Chuck's
Okay.
not a fan.
Oh, well
Chuck's
then
not a fan.
let's get into that discussion now, I guess.
There are 3 clear perspectives on this game. One is Trey, who fucking loved it. At one point, he said that it was the best season of Walking Dead. This is one of my biggest disappointments in gaming history. I hated this fucking game so far.
And Evan?
And he's somewhere in
It's pretty good. It's my least favorite of the 3, but it's very close to 2.
All right, so
Oh, that is crazy.
this is how we're going to do this. Why do you love it?
Here's the reason Chuck doesn't love it. No Kenny.
Okay.
That's not true.
Story. I didn't think about that.
That's not true. There's
Oh, you've
plenty.
been found out.
There's plenty of Kenny.
Kenny
when
lover?
I am a Kenny lover. But there's plenty of Kenny in my game because I saved him and he went all the way through with me on that side.
He
yeah.
leaves in episode 1 if you brought him through, right?
Well, what happens is, this is one of my problems with this game. He dies like a bitch, like a straight up bitch.
Because he is.
He
one.
always was a bitch. At
That's
least
not
in that-
true.
in
That's
season
not true.
one.
I like Kenny.
I love Kenny. He's my second favorite
He's
Walking
a-
Dead character.
He's a more well done Trip.
Oh my god, you motherfucker!
He is like Trip. He's just
sucks
way
so
more well
hard.
done.
Plus, he beat the shit out of somebody and like let Clem just watch him mash somebody's head in a paste.
He did do that.
Anyway,
guy
so
mash
they
him?
get in a car accident and he flies through the windshield and his legs are broke. And he doesn't really go out like a bitch. It's kind of heroic, I guess, but it just wasn't the way that I wanted him to go out because he couldn't fight back.
Right.
But he was just like, please do whatever you can to save AJ, get him out of here, don't turn around, that kind of thing. And he was eaten. It's not like season 1 where it's kind of, did he die? Did he not
Yeah.
die? You don't see him die. He is dead. He's
So-
super dead.
So my ending that I brought forward, because I was actually able to log into my 360 and
Same
figure
here.
my save. It was well done by them to be able to do that. My ending, which I thought was probably the least done, and they talked about in the video they released today for the future for the series, was actually ended up being the most popular. Is both Kenny and the bitch girl Jane died of
Poor,
mine. I
really.
went off on my own and took AJ and
Yeah,
like,
you
walked
killed
with the
Kenny and
walkers.
then you told her to get the fuck away from
Yeah.
him.
You killed Kenny out of necessity, and then I was like, "You're a bitch, get
Yeah.
out."
Yeah.
And so I went off on my own with AJ, and that turned out to be like kind of what they were building off of because that was the most popular. So I like that. But yeah, I did figure No Kenny was hard on you for this.
I mean, there's still like so many flashbacks between her and AJ. There was at least one flashback an episode.
They did because this is still a story about Clementine. I think my biggest problem with
Sorta.
it is that you didn't get to play as Clementine, which you didn't in 1, but it was still a story about Lee and
I
Clementine.
was going to say, because wasn't the trailer for this the Hispanic family?
This is much more about
Javier.
Javier and his
his
brother
shit show
and
of
how
a
they
family.
relate
What a
to
generic name.
Javier.
Yeah, I feel like that's used a lot.
Like
He's
John?
he's Hispanic,
Yeah,
so yes, Javier.
John is basically the white Javier.
Or Josh.
Yeah, Josh is also basically the white Javier.
But it's way more story about them and like, how they kind of connect to Clem. Now, did you like episode 1? Because I loved episode 1.
I thought episode 1 was pretty good. I thought episode 2 was a little less than pretty good. Episode 3 is probably my least favorite Telltale episode of all time.
I don't think any of these,
including Michonne.
Yeah, see,
by
none
the
of
way.
these touched Michonne for me.
Same
3 was
here.
down though.
Like the end of and this is what I was telling Trey offline. The end of episode 3
Full
of
spoilers
Michonne
for this, by the way.
was way better than this. Like you were crushing that guy's hand in the thing. You brained him with that. You also had
it was
flare
just
mouth.
everything leading up to
That
that.
guy,
was so
like,
boring.
I mean, that was episode 3 of Michonne was actually a very, very good episode. This is by far the best episode
Outside
of all 5 of those.
outside of flashing to her kids repeatedly.
Oh god, I hate
That
that shit.
didn't happen a lot in episode 3. Now, episode 3 of like Walking Dead season 2 is one of the best episodes of Walking Dead they've ever had. It's where Kenny goes ape shit on Carter, who is a great
Yeah, it's
villain.
in the garage.
And then they have to start walking through the herd at the very end of that, and it was awesome. There was none of that in this. It was boring. It's like,
It was
oh
boring.
shit, the person who was obviously evil winds up being evil, and you get knocked out. Crazy. Like, it was so
3 sucked.
boring.
I actually am with him. I thought 3 sucked, and 4 wasn't
4 wasn't
great,
much better.
but it was not that bad.
So I played this like literally in like 2 sittings, like back to back to back
Right.
to back. So remind me where 3 ends and 4 begins.
3 is where there's the obvious heel turn of Joan wind up. Oh, Joan.
So
is
first of all, not
turning.
obvious to all of us. Fuck you.
Obvious to almost everyone, and then you get knocked out.
And then
The
what?
end.
So what happens in 4?
You wake up and you break out of the.
Actually.
They
That's
You're
when you
trying
go
to
back
save
to the
David.
city and
You're
get
trying to go to
the
the
girl
meeting
and all
point. Well, if you choose to go see David and like follow through on his plan,
that, which I did not.
so let's kind of go into it.
It
So
doesn't matter.
this is a story about David, and then it also kind of keeps you updated on Clem. Javier, excuse me, Javier and David, because David appears in episode 3 or at the end of 2, really.
Yeah.
1 has one of the best twists ever when the daughter that you're protecting
Yeah.
out of nowhere gets her head blown off.
That was very surprising.
It was one of the
actually.
most oh shit. I came out of my seat. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, they murdered that poor
I
little
was
girl.
like, she is dead.
She just
super
wanted
dead.
a fucking Walkman.
Yeah, 2 was
That's what you get.
That's
2
fair.
was a lot of fun. I liked you had the kind of betrayal guy who hadn't been a bitch the whole time. Like Tripp had already shown signs of being kind of a bitch, but you had I forget his name, but the guy that finds out that Clem had been part of
the black
New
dude?
Frontier. Yeah. And
That was a hard turn.
yeah, it was hard,
Well,
but like
for
he's
me-
really against New Frontier.
What did you guys do?
I
Like,
killed him.
Oh, I killed him.
Before
Dead.
that, though, when you were like protecting Prescott or whatever, did you like open fire on those dudes?
No.
Okay.
No.
So I did, and his wife got murdered. And because of that,
Oh, the black guy.
he was salty with me from the beginning. So like when he made that hard turn, it was not in any way out of nowhere. I was
well,
like,
that's not a hard turn for you. That turn makes sense. But for us, who there's no reason for him to all of a
They
sudden
didn't have
just,
a alternate. Yeah.
hey, fuck you! I'm gonna kill you and this kid that I just
Gabe,
now met.
yeah.
And it's like, fuck you are, and I shot him dead.
didn't he find out she was
He
no?
She
he
finds
found
out-
out she had the brand for New Frontier.
Yeah.
on her.
New Frontier.
That's a pretty good reason.
It's a decent reason, but I mean, to just murder this person who's been
A
working
kid.
with you and like a child, and then for some fucking reason, the Hispanic kid, Gabe, he's gonna murder him too.
So let's talk about David, your brother.
He's awful.
I mean, he was kind of awful in the way he was supposed to be, though. I mean, I hated him.
Yeah, it's very clear you're supposed to not like him.
I mean, he is the worst. But here's where this succeeded for me, and even it took me a while to realize it was succeeding. I tried to very much immerse myself in whoever I'm playing as, and while Javier was nowhere near as good as Lee or Clem to play as, I still kind of got into his mindset, and no matter how much I hated David, and God, I hated David, I was like, this is my brother, and I'm going to try and be the brother that I think he would be. So I wasn't just a bitch back to him all the time, and like everything he did, I think they made me feel like I had to make choices I didn't want to make because that's what Javier would do.
But you know what though? That's one of my problems is because no matter how much I stuck up for him, because I did the same thing. He's my brother. He's my family. You're just a side
There were
piece.
small moments of rewards for that, but not
but
enough.
man.
there's like
I can tell some of the reason. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. But
no, there's just so
very
many
obvious reasons
times
we had
where
different feelings
he's
on this.
like they turned it to where there's no benefit to being a good brother. There's like none. He's gonna wind up being an asshole regardless of what you do.
I was a shitty brother from day one.
Guess what? He was an
That
asshole.
chick was hot.
Was he an asshole?
What, you're talking about David?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was fucking his wife.
I was I was good to him, and I didn't do any of the stuff in any regard. I didn't kiss her, and she kissed me. I didn't kiss her or anything,
Oh, I made out with that bitch.
and he was still an asshole. So regardless,
Yeah, so it sounds like the issue here is
lazy storytelling.
They didn't have the correct amount of alternatives
Yes.
if you
Right.
did another
which is
way.
different than lazy storytelling, but yes.
No, it's not.
Well, it was lazy in the fact they didn't write enough alternatives to it. 'Cause-
Compared
Which is
to
not normally
season,
how they do.
correct. Compared to season 2, Wolf Among Us, Borderlands, there were so many branching paths that wound up at some point all coming back and essentially being the same thing. But this one was not like that.
And while I had problems with that, let's skip ahead to kind of how it ends up because the end of this kind of really brought me back in after I was down more than I should have been.
Before you do that, I do want to point out the fact that there was way more ambiguous choices on the story conversations.
There was a lot that
to
didn't match up to what he ended up saying.
Okay, and I've got a great example. One of them was whenever you go into the hospital, you wind up killing the doctor, whatever, you're with Gabe, you wind up getting stabbed, right? Because you're trying to protect him.
Right.
Whenever you're recounting the story, one of the choices is, oh, I went and got myself stabbed. Does that mean to say Gabe got in the way and I got stabbed because of it? No. I wasn't paying attention and I wound up getting stabbed. So he winds up getting super pissed, telling on me that I shot the black dude, and that's when Trip, like, his vagina shows, and then he goes all bitch on me and says he's going to beat my ass. I'm like, what the fuck? That is not obviously not the choice that I wanted to make.
You just recounted the most frustrating part of the story for me, too. Like,
so many...
Gabe went crazy out of nowhere.
Yeah, I will not disagree with that. Episode 4 was easily the weak point for me.
There were so many obviously ambiguous choices like that.
I agree with that.
Another time where I was like, hey, back off, kid. It was like, hey, back off, kid. Like, getting in his face. I'm like, that is not what I wanted to do.
Yeah, I don't know.
Super ambiguous choices on purpose to turn the story in a direction that they wanted it to go, and they've never done that before.
Yeah, I think I just made different choices because I never felt there was
obviously.
Yeah, I think it just kind of.
Oh, the game. Sorry.
The choices you made kind of tailored more to I think what they
were wanting. It sounds like
Anyway, tell me about the end.
So 5, you're trying to. All right, so the town is Richmond's being overrun by walkers. As Kate came barreling in on a truck and knocked open the gate for me at least.
Yeah, that's
your brother's wife.
Yes. So you're going out to try and find equipment because I'm backing Kate on the fact that we have to make this right. And again, I'm recounting my story. I've got Trip alive at this point. You have Trip alive. You had Ava. It doesn't matter. Those are characters you can't save.
Yeah.
Like, they just die. Again, spoilers. But so
it always happens in a Walking Dead.
Yeah, but so basically, when you get to the construction site, which is where you're almost to, that's when everything kind of turns on its head, and like David finally confronts you about because Kate's like, fuck it, and she comes up and like holds your hand, and you can either confess your love to her and be a man about it, or you can start to hide it or whatever. And David goes ape shit no matter what you do on that. And goes crazy and at that point Gabe's like, he's trying to leave because he's trying to talk everybody into leaving already and just saying fuck the town. And of course you can choose to agree with what he has planned or Kate, because then it becomes down between those two. And then you're gonna have this fight and Gabe's gonna go with him, at least in my story.
Yeah.
Javier or David?
With David.
Okay.
He takes off and leaves. He feels like he needs to be there for his dad, even though he knows that he's totally on Javier's side.
The entirety of episode 4 and half of episode 5, he bitches about how much of a dick and how different his dad is.
And he doesn't change on that. There is a story beat that says he feels he needs to be there to help his dad find his way back,
regardless of how he feels about him.
And he's trying to be more like Javi in that way. And so the walkers are coming and they take off, and you come down to the last major choice is you can go immediately follow David and Gabe and try to get Gabe back, or you can try to help Kate and the rest of the crew save the town, because you can do one first. What did you do?
I helped Kate.
You'd have not done it. I also helped Kate. It just feels like the thing that Javier would do at that point.
She dies, right?
Kate, no.
Oh, okay. Because there's a lot of marketing I've seen with a zombie
dead face, and they fooled me on that too. I was like, well, shit. Because I was like, they shouldn't have done that because I know she's dead. They kind of did the bait and switch on that. She may be able to die, but I did not make the right choices for that. You go save the town, and then you go to find. And here's one of the interesting choices, because I was actually in the minority at that point. I had made the right amount of choices where Clem was my buddy. Clem completely trusted me.
Sour-faced Clem?
Yeah, and I had brought her back from the brink, which I'll talk about for a minute. And she says, whatever you decide, because she wants to go after Gabe, but she says, I'm with you no matter whatever you decide. And less than 50% of the players have been able to get her to do that. So she's with me. We go to that. You go to find them, and Gabe wrecked the car trying to get his dad to stop. David's dead. And Gabe is dying. He's been bit. And then you can either give him a gun to shoot himself, or you can shoot Gabe. Basically, then you get to the end credits of all Richmond's all well and good, and Clem leaves on her own. She gets a haircut, looks way more mature, going out her own for AJ. Boom, season 4 is what they're shooting for. It's really well done. It's hard to get the emotional beats with me describing it, but the end game was way different than what they'd done before. They took every like ancillary character that had been named basically, and kind of went through your story with them, the choices you made that affected how they viewed you, and whether they lived or survived. Because there's a lot that could have survived that died with me, and vice versa. It explains how David felt for me by the end, and what kind of brother I was. And the choices I made, what I could have made different to get to a different thing. It says I brought Clem back from the brink, and how she is a reformed pessimist or whatever they use for it. It's really well done. Like it made me feel I felt more connected to the characters maybe than I ever have during the series, but certainly at any point than I did during season 3.
Man, I hated almost all the characters, including Clem. Clem, this is like a different. I was pulling for her as much as possible, but God, she was a bitch.
It did kind of explain at the end of it, justified Clem's actions and how she
and she
changed.
Always had she's mean mugging. Regardless, it's my birthday. I'm happy. Like it's crazy. Like this, I can't express how disappointed I am.
That sucks because I like it. I'm not super high on it, but I liked it. Trey liked it.
Yes,
I loved it.
All right. Moving on to a game that I both love and hate. Injustice 2.
Cool. I played this in one night.
Yeah, you played it in one night. Yeah, you played it in 2 days. Chuck, you played it probably in.
I mean, I beat the story pretty much in a day, but then I've gone back and done all kinds of different things with it.
Yeah, I've put 100 hours into this game.
That's a lot.
Yes, indeed. So I guess we could talk about the story a little bit in terms of it's probably the weakest of the NetherRealm stories since they've come out with like this new Mortal Kombat 9 and beyond.
I liked it a lot, actually.
I thought it was okay. This is the first one I've ever played, so I don't have a point of comparison. And I didn't dislike it at all. But I was just like, okay,
it wasn't
like,
as
that was
good
cool.
it wasn't as good as the first one, but it was solid. I mean, if they're going to turn this into a comic book like they did,
I felt kind of lost on what was happening sometimes. Like
fighting Brainiac.
Yeah, I know. Like
the worst Brainiac, by the way.
Oh, I like
really.
Him.
I hate that character design.
I liked it. I thought
it's not the best.
It
but
just looked like Brainiac.
I hate that.
You are crazy. You have obviously not remembering
like
several Brainiacs where he had like the pirate mustache and goatee.
Like after bringing the
I'm not saying it's my least favorite Brainiac. I'm just saying I hated their version of Brainiac.
After bringing the regime down in the first one, like I don't know. I guess like some of the story beats felt a little forced. Not to say I didn't like it. I still like it. The NetherRealm makes damn good stories for a fucking fighting game.
yeah.
I mean, it's no Injustice 1, which is probably the best story in a fighting game. Maybe Mortal Kombat 9.
To me, it goes. It's the first of each of those. It's 9 and then Injustice and then 10 and then Injustice 2.
I'm with you, but I enjoyed it. I still don't love it as an actual fighting game. Like, it's not bad. It's just not my favorite. I like the really large list of characters.
Yeah, it's got a great roster. I mean, I love the mechanics of it. The story was okay to me. I feel like they were very clearly setting up like the path for like a redemption for the Superman character, and then they just gave up on that, and they were like, "Oh no, he's still a shithole. Like he's still a dick, and Batman's again going to be our moral compass no matter what."
He is an evil character in the Injustice universe,
and I get that, but like this is also like there's a variation where they could go with an alternate universe. I mean, they already have the multiverse established. They could have had another Superman come in. They could have had that character redeem himself by the end.
FYI, there will be another Injustice game, and Batman's going to be the Overlord fighting against an uprising Superman or something along those lines. Oh God, yes.
We'll see.
I feel like Batman's never the bad guy.
Yeah, that's
exactly. It's going to be awesome.
I mean, I would love
Superman is also never the bad guy. I mean, he was kind of a bad guy in Red Son, but it was just the way that he was raised. This, like, he's murdering people.
Yeah, he went crazy when Lois died.
But I mean, they did that for the first game as well. So like, I'm not exactly convinced that they're ever going to do anything with Batman other than make him the hero. And that's for me. That's the thing that bugs me is I like Batman as a character, but I do feel like they just always fall back on our moral compass crutch is always going to be Batman, and I feel like it doesn't have to be that way.
He's a better character than Superman doesn't mean anything.
Not getting into that dumb argument. You're allowed to have your own preferences. So for me, it's
You're welcome, Chuck.
for me, like I feel like the story didn't go anywhere in a way. Like I just feel like each beat went like moment to moment, and I don't really feel like anything happened. I feel like a lot of the story or a lot of the fights were just complete padding. The whole Oliver side story, the Green Arrow and Black Canary stuff, like I didn't really care for
It's a
any of
little
it.
weird.
Yeah.
Can I add this?
Yes.
Cheetah is the worst.
It's all right.
She's not the best. That's
My
for sure.
God.
Like her character or the story part to her?
All. Yes.
I mean, I love fighting with her. She's super fast.
She is fun. To
I
fight
don't
with.
care about her fight. I'm talking about just.
Well, that's what I asked.
He's more talking
you
about
said
the
her
character.
character or her story.
Yeah, you did say.
Okay, fine. Fighting with her or her story?
In that instance, her story. I don't care about.
He
fight.
also
Yeah, I'm
just
not talking
hates.
about
You hate the way she looks. You hate everything.
her voice. I hate the way she acts. Like it's awful.
I didn't hate Cheetah as much as I thought I was going to. To me, Swamp Thing.
Technical difficulties, folks. Sorry, YouTube.
He's not.
Actually, I didn't hate Cheetah.
You need to start with the word cheetah.
Cheat?
Yes.
Let's start with the word A.
Cheetah, the way that I was expecting to. I thought she's actually pretty fun to play with as well.
She's great to play with.
Yeah, Swamp Thing sucks. I don't
I
like
love
playing
Swamp
with
Thing.
him.
What?
I don't like
It's
playing
He
with
was
him.
cool.
Oh.
Again, I don't care about the fighting style. Like his story and like his design is really cool.
Plus,
I
when he
like
goes into the ground, little flowers pop up. It's wonderful.
Got it.
It's the little
Cool.
things.
It really is.
I mean, so I am somebody who spent hours with each of these characters. So for me, like, yeah, I like. Shut up. I like the characters themselves. Like, I like their version of Scarecrow. I hated playing with him. I like their version of pretty much every character, and I actually liked the loot system for the most part as well.
Loot.
I think that
The Warren.
the inclusion of the armor and kind of giving that RPG element, I thought was good. I think they took it a step too far, but I thought it was overall pretty good.
You're
How much of
crazy
your 100
person,
hours
but-
was played by you just auto playing it?
Actually, not all that much.
You talked about it a lot.
You did talk about it a
It
lot.
was one season's worth of TV worth, so about 8 hours.
That's insane.
Anyway, I actually the big meaty spot of this particular game to me is
The meat
multi-
grease.
Yes, the meat crease.
Yeah.
The hot dog of this particular game is the multiverse. I love the multiverse. It's daily challenges. You go in there, you beat the challenge, you get really cool loot. You can trade that loot in or upgrade your current loot. It's a really smart thing to do to add more hours and more content into a game that if, for instance, it was just essentially a story mode and online multiplayer, I would have traded it in a long time ago. But my kids love it. I like it a lot. It's a lot of fun doing that. And the DLC characters are pretty fun so far too.
Yeah, I just played with Red Hood. I need to download Sub-Zero.
You haven't bought them yet myself. I'm waiting to
You
see.
can still play as them.
I can't.
Yeah, you
Well,
can.
like when they're multiverse characters, yes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and I played a little bit as Red Hood, but I mean, for me, like if I'm gonna like sit down and try and learn a character that way, I'm gonna have to buy him. Like I really enjoy the
it's
actual
still a
mechanics
full
of the game.
multiverse. It's still 5 matches.
5 matches is not exactly enough to learn a character.
Just play it again.
Sam?
That was quick.
Hey,
You were
so-
waiting for me to say that, weren't you?
No, I wasn't.
Liar.
Real quick before we move on, you said you thought they took the armor stuff too far?
Yeah.
How so?
So this is more like a me problem. I get it, but as somebody who,
As most problems you have are.
so as somebody who
Everyone's
went
allowed
for,
to have their differences, Trey.
Thanks, Chuck.
if I had reacted like, you know what, never mind. So, as somebody who did go after and actually got the platinum trophy in this game, tying certain parts of that game, certain aspects to not just earning through playing, but a complete random number generator.
So by parts of that game, do you mean specifically and only trophies?
No, I
What
actually
other
do
parts
think
are
that
tied
the
to
way
it?
that you earn certain items is a little bit over the top. Like the certain items are really only earnable through specific multiverse events that only come up like at a very specific time. Like
Is there a specific time or a random time?
there
There
are
are daily challenges on the multiverse. Where
Okay, yeah, I'm
certain of
legit
those
asking because I didn't
challenges-
care about any of this, so I just
like
did
the Wonder. I love that
sure
they
it
did the
is.
Wonder Woman stuff. Like I love that I could get that Wonder Woman armor, but I wish it were easier to unlock had I not had the game at the time that game came out. or that the movie came out. So like they did a multiverse event where you could unlock literally her costume from the Wonder Woman movie,
which was cool.
It was
It
awesome.
was an awesome time.
It's the only version of that character I will use. Like I don't care if I get armor.
Guess what's
that's
going to
better.
happen when Justice League comes out?
I hope to God it does. I will
Yes,
be very
it's
upset
gonna
if it
happen.
doesn't. But like I would like for there to be a way to earn that armor. You can get them in loot boxes, but again, it's completely random and there are hundreds of thousands of different items that you can get. It's just overwhelming, especially because like I've put 100 hours in that game. I've got 2 full sets for any character. In terms of like, you know how each armor piece, like certain
Right.
ones can be sets. I've only gotten 2 of them that are full sets aside from the Wonder Woman one, and I got that just because of the event. Like it's a little frustrating that I've had to put 100 hours in that game and I still don't have
But-
like completed pieces like that.
But what does that change about the game, other than you don't look the way you want?
It changes your stats.
Yeah, it gives you it opens up
Right.
specific abilities. Like the trophy that held me up for the most part was specifically the fact that I needed this dumb ability.
Are there
for
unlockable
for
super
Catwoman.
moves?
Super what?
Moves.
There are modifications to super moves.
Because that gets so old. The same one.
No.
The modifications that you get are they're not nearly as rare as some of the armor pieces that Josh is talking about, and they add more variety to what you're already playing.
But the
Hang
cuts,
on.
like if you,
I'm talking about the cuts.
yeah,
What's happening?
Broadband's
the armor pieces
fucking up.
talking about, and
Sorry, YouTube.
Garage Band, yo.
GarageBand 6, yo.
you need to start with add.
Yeah.
Who needs to start with that?
Yeah.
What am I add?
It cut you off.
Just add and go.
Okay.
You,
Here, I'll let you
Yeah.
go a little more, but
Nearly as rare as some of the armor pieces that Josh is talking about, and
you basically were saying they
I can
add
cut
to
it
what you-
off at. I can cut it off at.
that Josh was talking about.
Yeah, that Josh was talking about. So just start there.
I don't know what I was saying. I'll just make something up.
You're talking about the unlockable super move modifications.
Super move.
Somebody
I
started
wasn't talking about
I
that.
asked about it.
Well, then you start.
I got it. Yeah, but really, I mean, so like the change to the super move, it doesn't change the cutscene at all. Like for me, the one that I use, the only one that's actually modification is Superman before he does his
Do you
super
just skip
move.
it now every time instead of
can't.
watching it?
You can't.
You can't? God, that's stupid. Because it
Um,
gets so old.
But anyway, like he
They're
flies
so
off.
long.
He like flies off and
Yeah.
gets a big boulder he hits you with, and it makes it unblockable. So it makes it like harder to dodge that move. Yeah, I do agree the stage transitions and the super moves after you've seen them enough times it gets old. But I don't use super moves often in that game. For me, the meter burning special moves is way more effective in the way that game is supposed to be played.
Yeah, you see super moves like a max of twice per match or round, I guess.
I get that, but as someone who doesn't really care and I just wanted to play the story because I like the story, I just want to see more super moves from like comic book characters. I guess I get tired of watching it as I go through.
It would be
and I'm
cool
like,
if they had like a random,
at least
2
like
or 3. You
like
could
in the way that
hit.
there's 2, sometimes
Justice 3,
3
baby.
fatalities. I would like to see some
Yeah.
more
I do-
variety.
I do wish
to
there
that.
were more of those. To
I wish there were
really
fatalities in this game,
to really get
That'll
into
never happen.
no.
or some kind of finishing move. I guess it doesn't have to be murder, but
to get into why I think the loot system was a little bit much for me is like I have my main character is Robin. I have a very specific Robin that I like to play with. It's using moves that are unlocked specifically through that loot system.
Thick.
I don't have a strategy for the base level character of that game. But if I'm playing online and I want to play somebody and they want to turn on like the competitive mode where it doesn't use anything out of the loot system,
yeah.
I can't. I'm like not competitive.
So okay, so that's on you. Like you know the rules. The rules are established up front. If you want to play competitively this game, learn the base character. You didn't do that. That's your choice.
But no,
It's
I
not
mean,
a game flaw. They told you up front that that's how it rolls.
I can't stop picturing Josh playing with Robin Thicke.
well, I'm glad this went exactly where I was expecting it to.
Oh, that's damn funny. Come
You
on.
thought we were gonna end this conversation on Robin Thicke?
Yeah, pretty much.
You are clairvoyant as shit.
Trey is asking a valid question, I guess.
And then I'm giving a valid answer. Like there are certain aspects that are tied to that system that I wish that they allowed just customization on the character for.
So
Just for pure looks.
No, just for the way the character plays, the certain moves
But
that are
then-
available and the modifications to those moves.
then it's
Why does
unfair
that-
in a competitive situation.
It's not at all unfair. Mortal Kombat X had
Fighting
3
games
variations.
are so much about balance. You can't have, and there's so many pieces of armor. You can't account for all those different stat changes.
Mortal Kombat
and
X
balance
had
the
3
game.
variations of every character. You could play those characters the way you wanted.
There's not 3 combinations. How many pieces of armor are there for every character?
Thousands.
Exactly.
Again, I'm talking about the moves that are tied with the loot system. I'm not talking about the armor pieces.
There's more than 3 of those, isn't there?
There's in total about 5 different moves. You know how that could have been done? That could have been done with a
game designer.
that could have been done with a style set the way they did with MKX. Like that's exactly what they did.
But they went a different route. And so I get that you would wish it was different, but I think there's a difference between you wishing that they had done it different and them, and then you saying that it's a flaw in the game. I think
No,
those are 2
because-
separate
I fucking
things.
loved it. I fucking loved it.
I like the game a lot too, but there's a difference between that and there's a difference between wanting to play a character the way you want to and giving you that option, but you have to have it tied behind this ridiculous loot box system that doesn't give you you don't have any control over what it gives
Isn't
you.
that what Destiny does?
It is what Destiny does.
Yeah.
The abilities, no. The abilities are
The loot system's the same.
You're talking about armor in an RPG, which is different. You're talking about armor, which I'm perfectly fine with. I'm talking about
There's
the
armor
way...
in Injustice.
I was
Jesus
just
Christ.
talking about the guns in Destiny. Like I could never get a good gun.
Right, but I
like
understand
ever.
that. But the abilities, the way you play that character, the way you play your Destiny character, isn't affected by the loot drop
I
system.
would
in
argue
the
what
way...
gun you have is a pretty big factor in how you play a
and
character.
only,
It is.
like if you want to be like a sniper, and I couldn't get a good sniper. I'm making a legit argument here.
So am I.
You're just dismissing an argument. You're
like-
not making an argument against it.
Like I wanted to
All
be,
right.
I was trying to snipe on that, and I never could because I could never get like a high. I forget the color that
Yeah,
they used in Destiny.
I get, and I get what you're saying there, but what I'm saying is the part that makes that character different from everybody else, not the weapon itself, but the part that makes that class different. The reason you chose that class is not hidden behind a loot drop system. The reason you choose that character over anybody else is because you want those abilities. You want to be a Titan. You want to be able to pull the shield, or you want to be able to do the ground pound, or whatever the case may be. That's not tied behind a loot system.
If you want to play a tank as Injustice, you play a tank as Injustice. The loot just adds different abilities to that tank. You're still a tank.
Now specific moves that are tied off. I mean, it changes the way if you're playing it with like a combo based mindset, you're playing in any sort of competitive aspect, it changes the way that you learn a character. It changes the way that you play a character.
Would you
it
not
just
say that-
legitimately does.
Would you not say that guns in Destiny do the same thing? Like, if you have a better gun or a gun that performs a different ability or shoots a different type of ammo or at a different rate of fire or whatever, like in Call of Duty, I'm sure that someone who plays often with like a sniper rifle obviously plays much different than a person who often plays with pistols.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like, I mean, there's those different guns exist because even though you still pick a class in Call of Duty, like you still also probably have a preferred weapon type. Destiny is no different than that, and they hide those behind the thing. I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm saying that is similar to what Injustice is doing. And again, if you don't like what Injustice does, then cool. Like you said, entitled to your opinions. I'm just saying that I disagree that even if you don't like it, I don't think that makes the game fundamentally flawed. It's just a choice that the designer made that you don't like.
It's a step backwards in that choice. And the one thing is, those types of weapons are still readily available for everybody. You could go purchase them, not with real money, but in the game with currency. You may not get the variant that you want, but you will get a weapon that does what you want. I can't go and purchase the specific move that I need for that specific character. I know that that character's out there. I know that move is out there, but I literally have to just grind out on that box.
And it would be
You can
nice if
trade-
they added that. I
You
agree.
could trade out armor for other armor though, and get different boxes that have random things in it. You can do
that's
that.
what I'm saying, though. The armor is not my issue.
But I mean, you can the move sets are also in those boxes.
Yeah, and that's my whole problem. Is it's completely
You're saying
random.
you
I'm not.
wish
I'm
you
not.
could just pick a move and pay for it.
Or no, I'm just wishing that those moves were available in the same style that they had done in the previous game, where they had 3 iterations. They had 3 iterations of every character. You could play Scorpion.
But that's Mortal Kombat. It's a different. I get the same developer, but it's a different game.
But it's a modification of that same system they implemented, but it's a step backwards in my opinion.
There you go.
We have gone.
That's what we've
We have
been
gone
waiting
the most in depth on movesets.
We have.
I did not expect that.
It's a game
I
that I
did
played a
not
lot. I wasn't planning on even talking about the game initially.
Why?
Just because we had already talked about it.
Like briefly.
Not the story.
We had already talked about it, so I
Or the
wasn't planning
multiverse.
on it.
Like you'd been playing it for like a day at that point.
I could talk about the mechanics at that point. I'm fine
Talking
with
about
it.
Speedrunners. That was a fun game.
Do like Speedrunners.
We
What
already
got
did
next?
talk about that. Prey.
Yeah, Prey.
I pray this will be over soon.
And I love that game.
And
I love that game.
I didn't notice.
I like that game. I want to love it, and I can't get there.
Did you finish it?
No,
I haven't
it's
either.
so.
It's
I heard it's like 20-something hours.
huge.
It's not that. It's big. Like I don't know how to make it to.
That's what she said.
I'm close to 20 hours now, and I'm nowhere
To some
near
people,
being
not
done.
you.
or you.
Well, that's fair.
Yeah, I lost all interest in
That's
trying
my
to play
leg,
this game.
baby.
Like, nothing about it looks fun to me.
It's really good. It does have.
It's Dishonored and BioShock, but instead of
Yeah.
Rapture,
That sounds
or-
really cool.
It's awesome, but instead of Rapture or Columbia, it's in space, Talos.
On a fucking gigantic
big.
space station that you will just
And you can
get.
go out in space. It's fucking great.
That
man.
part's really fucking cool
It's-
until you find out those fucking aliens are out there and it's
There's some
terrifying.
aliens out there, but you got to get the guns.
They come out of
That's where
nowhere.
those aliens live. I don't know if you guys seen
So
this.
this game,
In space, that was really funny.
Holy
apparently.
shit! Where were you 20 hours ago?
For a
Damn it!
for a long time, this game just scared me constantly.
It's kind of scary.
That's
The
also
mimic-
kind of Evan's thing.
No, man, this would scare the mimics, especially for the first several hours until you kind of know what to look for. Like you'll walk up and
Is
be
it-
like, "Oh, loot," and you'll go to pick it up, and it's like, "Blah!" and it's like a face hugger.
It
on
sounds
you.
like Dead Space almost, where they would like
it's
pop
not-
out of vents and shit.
It's not nearly that bad. It's not that scary.
Okay, okay.
It is literally BioShock and Dishonored.
Gotcha.
It's literally both.
Dead
of
Space
those
was more
things.
tense. Like I was always like waiting for something to jump out at me.
No, once you get to the power where mimics aren't that bad,
Once
and
you
you
can
can
become
also
a mimic.
find where they are too, because a mimic has to be next to something that it is mimicking. So let's say, for
If you see
instance,
two things next
if
to
there's
each
two
other.
Yes.
cups, one of them is a enemy waiting.
more
to-
than
Gotcha.
likely, or you're just
shoot
looking
all
like
the
an,
fucking cups.
you're like an idiot, just smashing cups.
I
in a room.
have obliterated an office where there was nothing. Like had no ammo when I got out of it, and then the next room I got obliterated because that's where they were.
That's funny.
It was really bad. But the game is really good.
We're just still live on the video.
Yeah, it's fine. We can vamp. This happens, folks. It's a podcast recording. That's what happens when Chuck's some part of it.
He in trouble. To be fair, he did kind of ignore his sick kid.
Well, this kid's
Oh,
fine.
no,
He's not
he
gonna
actually
die.
went-
He
he
doesn't
ended
have
up-
cancer. He has strep throat.
No, didn't he end up going over there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
went
he
up
did.
there. We
No,
paused.
he didn't ignore his sick kid.
Nope. What do you think, YouTube? Why is Chuck in trouble? Comment below.
Please let us know. Who's getting text messaged?
Not me.
Not me.
Hard. It is happening.
Chuck's phone didn't light up, but
Wasn't my phone.
I don't know what that was.
I don't know. It's hot.
It's alright.
It is a bit
Now
warm.
I'm getting a bunch of shit.
It's sticky.
It is also sticky. My car is gonna be extra sticky. So I don't have AC. At least you have AC when you go home.
I mean, not really. My car is gonna die on the side of the road soon.
You should probably get a new one.
Yeah. Let me add it to the list of shit I need.
Okay. That's probably a good idea. You should make a list.
Tori watched Free Fire.
And
Yeah?
He loved it.
You're damn right he did. Redeem yourself.
weren't you not excited for that movie?
Yeah, and
He
then it was
wasn't.
awesome.
Yeah, he did love it. And yeah, but he was not excited going in because I didn't want you to come because I was so excited. And I was like, don't bring me down, Josh.
That's fair. I admit when I'm wrong.
Sometimes.
God, there's still so many games to talk. We're not talking about Galaxy Guardians of the Galaxy again. We already talked about that whole episode.
We did, and also I've still not played the first episode, so no one's gonna spoil it.
I mean, we already spoiled it for you. Luckily, you don't remember.
Nope.
So we got.
We can talk about Gravedigger for a minute.
Grave digger.
Digger.
It's crushing Josh's head on the video.
No. I feel like I need to be drinking more beer because I'm watching Monster Trucks.
That's fair.
I need some boiled peanuts.
Boiled peanuts are the most disgusting.
No, they're alright.
We're playing with toys
Oh,
for the YouTube people.
No, I'm not kidding. Like, I had one time for the first time ever. I literally almost puked immediately.
You said that like 3 years ago.
That was the same. He mentioned boiled peanuts, so I said they
I
were
like Cajun
disgusting.
boiled peanuts.
Oh,
How do
they're
you?
real good.
Yeah.
They're real good.
Yes, they're
It's
slimy.
like, it's like kind of a chunky soup.
Mm-hmm. Peanut shells.
Yeah.
So you know
Just
what? We
gives
should
it some-
probably try to describe it differently.
No, it just gives it some texture, man.
Don't do that. That's gonna break.
Yeah,
Please
we
don't
have
do
too
that.
much stuff on the
There's-
table.
Please
now.
don't do that.
There's not enough stuff on the table.
Please don't do that. Can we wait until the table gets bigger
It
and then
also,
we'll bring
it also
Greg
blocks out
bigger?
like the left side of Josh's face.
That's not true. I'm looking at it. Now it blocks
All right,
out all of my face.
Let's record.
Where were we at?
Had something to do with
Sorry
Prey.
for the delay, folks.
Sorry. The wives now, not kids.
So why were you in trouble? We had a poll going.
Yeah.
I wasn't in trouble. She just had questions.
That's
Like-
what people who are in trouble say.
She motioned in a
Well,
way that was
what kind of
definitely like
She
punishment
did,
you
and
want?
I asked her that. I was like, what was that for? She's
Right?
like, the kids were still awake. I'm like, so?
Come
We're almost
hither.
finished.
right
So wait, hold
now.
on. What did you say I was in trouble
Oh, we
for?
just asked
we
YouTube
asked,
to
I asked
comment.
people to comment below.
Oh,
I asked if you were a bad parent, and that was about it.
I mean, who's not?
That's fair.
I mean, that's the point.
Josh
of the
is
movie,
not because
Bad
he's not a
Moms.
parent.
Thank God.
That's it.
The game is really good. I'm gonna move on from there.
Selling it.
All right.
It's just not quite where I want it to be. I really like the story. The beginning has
The
a
story is great.
The story's great. The beginning twist is really great.
I think Trey is going to actually dig this game once he plays it because that first little twist thing is like a toy to Trey who'll be like, "Ooh, what's behind this thing?"
Like, usually that gets me, and I liked it, and I still
That's how you
really
are
like
with twists.
this game. But like,
He's
I
not
find
wrong.
You watched Split, and you were like, "Ooh, what just
I didn't
happened
see that
there?"
coming at all.
Hands like this.
Ooh, Bruce Willis was dead.
because it is spoilers. Because it is arcane, the level design is incredible.
It is.
So I find myself finding secret ways to go into rooms I shouldn't be in yet all the time,
Or
and
Gluey McGlueface.
Yes, Glue McGlueface was a part of that. And I get distracted all the time. And so I just like deeply explore
You're
levels I
turning a
should have moved on
20-hour game, and I'm the
into
same
like
way.
an 80.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Because I
There's
looked how
so
far I had
much
to go
stuff.
and it was depressing. Like I've got mimic powers now, which all that did was unlock ways for me to get into more rooms that
I
I,
know,
shouldn't
it's
be
awesome.
into. Because I'll turn myself into like a pencil and go rolling under the door.
or a buck. But you can turn yourself into a turret and then just like lay waste to dudes.
You
It's
said
awesome.
that weirdly.
You did.
Turret.
Tourette's?
Syndrome.
Yes.
Got
Tourette's syndrome.
But like when it first started off, you said this is terrifying. His game gave you big nightmares.
Well, there is a big nightmare.
There is something called a nightmare.
Yeah,
in
you
this
know.
game. It's a giant, like, what are those things called? A phantom. It's a huge phantom that can like swirl into like all the mimics look like
Is he a
face-
menace?
To society, he drinks his juice in the hood.
That's fair.
Anyway, so the mimics are essentially face huggers that look like they're made out of motor oil. So all
fair.
of the monsters look like they're made out of motor oil. So the nightmare is just this giant fucking thing.
It's
like
really big.
50 feet tall.
So it's actually a legit big nightmare.
It is. And the first time you saw it, I told Evan this, is like there's an achievement. If you survive, it's called The Nightmare is Hunting You. And so you have to survive for 3 minutes with this nightmare in the same room as you. If you do, you get an achievement.
I walked in and went, nope, and turned around. Much like
If you hide, you get the achievement.
there's a secret room you can find, and all of a sudden this gigantic robot head floats up that is like half the size of the
Oh,
room
yeah. I still
with all its
haven't done that.
minions, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, it's big.
I finally beat that.
That's crazy.
I should not have beaten it, but I found a little cheat for it. and-
Diamond achievement. If you mimic a mimic.
yeah, I got it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Cool. Good for you.
What if the nightmare wasn't as big? What if it were like a little nightmare?
What if it happened before Christmas? Oh, you're
Hmm.
transitioning to a
I
different
am.
game. Never mind. I retract my previous statement.
Way to go.
Oh.
You guys played a
It's a
game
Little
called Little Nightmares?
Yeah, Trey played it too.
What
You
did you
hated
hate it,
it.
don't you?
No,
Somebody hated it.
What
I
did-
don't like it.
I didn't
What
like
it
it,
is,
but
you
I
How
don't
don't
did you
hate
play
it.
this?
I forgot about it.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It's been on the list for like months.
I don't know.
So I will say this:
Awesome.
the aesthetic of this game is top notch.
Yep.
Let me guess what your problem was.
The platforming.
The controls. Yeah.
Yep.
And a
It's
lot
awful.
there okay, so
We'll
this
talk
is
about
also
another game like that soon.
this is also my biggest problem with this game. There is a depth to the platform that
It should have just
you
been a
can't
2D
really seem-
side scroller.
There is a depth. So, for instance, Limbo Inside. Anytime
yeah.
you needed to jump from point A to point B,
It's
you
a
just
side-scrolling
jumped.
platform with 3D planes.
In
Yes.
Little
Fuck
Nightmares,
that.
for some reason, and I don't know if
You
they're
can
going
be an
to
inch
update
to
this,
the right.
if you jump from point A to point B, there is also a C and D depth to it where you can fall off of the
It is
platform.
Off.
And there is a couple of times where it takes you out of really cool moments, like what I called the Fatalanche, which was the fat people that were like just tumbling towards you. And
Mine was
reaching
right
you.
before that, and this was like my 5th experience of this frustrating
It
thing.
happened to me like 3 times.
I had about 5 to 6. Mine was
That
when
was
you
about
get
right,
across
was.
and you run across the table and the bar, and
Yeah.
they're all like, "Whoa," and you have to jump to the window.
Yeah.
could not hit that window to save my life, and I was jumping straight, and it was not happening. And it's the first time in like the past, as a legit adult with a child married, I stood up, yelled "fuck," and threw my controller like a child because I was so frustrated with this game.
Yeah, and
I
know
also
the
threw my
part-
controller.
I know that part you're talking about. The part that almost got me was there's a transition, I believe, between level 2 and 3. Nothing's chasing you.
Two was the most frustrating.
You're
for
just
me.
like on just like a walkway or something like that, and there's a spot where you're supposed to just jump onto something else, and I kept falling. It's between
Repeatedly.
and I was like, this is stupid. Why are they doing this? But I got past that, thank God, because I really enjoyed the story on this
The
game.
story was good. Kind of a ambiguous ending.
I didn't think so.
The aesthetic of it was one of the best I've played. But yeah, I couldn't get it. I got taken out of it so much by the platform.
That's fair, and I can understand that. I think Josh will like this because of that particular ending, and I think that the story beats, some of the story beats he'll really enjoy. Some of the platforming is very
frustrating.
Yes,
Yeah, it
and
is.
it's a game of millimeters sometimes.
And each
yeah.
level
Which
has
sucks.
like a theme for the boss, really, which I liked.
It's awesome. The character designs and the level models.
2 is
and stuff like
terrifying.
that
The
is
guy with the long
awesome.
arms, I was like, oh my god.
Man,
Yeah, that's
fuck
one
that
and two.
dude.
Yeah,
That's
is
the
a
part for
fucker.
me where I threw
That
my
guy was
controller.
that was like a guy off of a Tool video.
The end of that where like the door comes down and gets stuck on that cage and his like
Yeah.
arms are trying to get
oh
you.
yeah,
So first of all,
you couldn't figure it out.
no, I figured it out,
You
but
couldn't figure
and I would pull the first bar. You had to pull like 2 bars, right?
Yeah.
And so I'd pull the first bar, I'd run back, and let him go through his little motions again.
Yeah.
And that second bar, it was the depth thing again.
Yeah, the depth
I kept
thing got
either
you.
being too far to the left or the right of that bar,
It happened to me
and I
once.
couldn't grab it, and then he would kill me. I died like 15 times there, and I was like, all
I
right,
almost quit.
I literally was like, all right, I'm fucking done. That's the
I
only
didn't
reason I
have
didn't
that
play this in
problem.
one sitting. I was so fucking angry.
But like the chefs and stuff, they were all cool.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
Fatalanche, as you said.
Yeah, the
was-
Fatalanche was awesome.
It was a great moment, and I loved the final boss.
the
for-
geisha lady.
The geisha.
Yeah, it
Uh,
was
just-
cool.
As she would kind of come in out of the shadows, but mainly just because when the whole level you can hear her, and it's getting stronger as you go towards her,
Yeah.
and you hear the.
Uh-huh.
It's just her humming. It's
And see,
really
I
good.
love leaving and all of that, like the
It was badass.
the aesthetic of the fat people like walking.
The
like-
Russo brothers are making a show out of this.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
It makes sense, and there's a lot of DLC that's still coming because of how popular this game became after launch. So I'm looking forward to it. I'll play, and the story DLC. Apparently, there's 2 other story DLCs, and you know the when you're like the first starving moment you have, and somebody throws food at you,
Mhm.
you play that kid
Oh, okay.
That's
in like
interesting.
another DLC, a story-based DLC. So
That's cool. Yeah, if this game would have been 3 through 5, I would have liked it a lot more. The first 2 chapters, not so great for me.
I loved it. I loved the whole thing, and Josh, just download it, man. I think you'll like it.
I'll give it a shot. Maybe the problem is like a lot of the things you guys are saying are a lot of the things I can say about the next game I want to talk about, which is Rime. I don't know if I want to play 2 of those right away. Rime is a game that I simultaneously absolutely adore and hate.
I will play it one day when it comes out for Switch.
When it's cheaper.
The mechanics on this game, I mean, I had a gift card, so I used it to buy it, but the mechanics on that game are just not good, like at all.
I've heard that from many people.
J-
Actually.
It's one of those games that just feels stiff no matter what you do.
It looks cool.
It does. The aesthetic and what that story is doing, I think, are amazing. So basically, Rime this was a Tequila Works game. It was originally a PlayStation exclusive. It took like 4 years to make. And
This
so
game has
Sony,
been coming out like as long
Yeah.
as Below has.
it literally got announced at the PlayStation event that announced the PS4 and has only just come out a couple months ago. Sony went back and basically said, yeah, we don't own this IP anymore. You guys can have it. And they finished the game and they released it. Giving up an exclusive like that means that it was in shit shape, and it kind of shows. So you play like a young boy who wakes up basically marooned or shipwrecked on an island. And it's like equal parts Journey and The Witness and like so many games that I absolutely fucking love, but all tied together with a very clunky movement system with a shitty jumping system. No storytelling like by voice or anything, so it's all interpretive. But what you're doing, the actual puzzle aspect of it, I think is actually fantastic.
That's what I was wondering about. How are the puzzles? Because it's compared to like a Zelda style game in that aspect?
It's so the puzzles are simple enough that yes, you get them. I guess spoiler for some of the puzzles, but like there's a lot of puzzles in the game where you're trying to find a way to like open a door, but the door doesn't exist there. So you have to find this specific like keyhole you're looking through almost that takes parts of the world in the foreground and in the background. And it's a full 3D world, so you can like literally run up to all those pieces, but it aligns them perfectly to where it outlines a door on the wall. And then those pieces just basically, without you even realizing it, like are now attached to the wall and have created a door. Like there's no animation, they don't zoom back or whatever. It just like lines up perfectly. It like lights up real quick, and then you can go walk through the door. Or there was another one where there are these two statues, and the shadow from the sun is like projecting them onto the wall. But there's a ball in the middle, like on a round track, that basically, as you push that ball, it changes the time of day. So you have to move it to where you get the shadows to like to a specific place. Like, I mean, the puzzles are really fucking cool. The area, so it's kind of broken up into 5 chapters, and if I'm interpreting it right, I think that the story is about this kid having died, and he is going through the 5 stages of grief.
Did you finish it?
Not yet.
Okay.
The problem is it's long too. It's like 15 to 20 hours. It feels like.
Man.
At least so far the way I'm playing it. Maybe it's only 10 hours, but it feels longer than that.
Hey Trey, will you cancel my Rime pre-order?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, well, you can look up and see
I'd
how
rather
long.
just play yours.
That's
on
fine.
PlayStation.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. But like the way they interpret that, there's a lot of Miyazaki feeling style to
I love
this.
the look of it. Yeah.
When you're dealing with death in any way in the game, like there are these black hooded figures that have like the pale white face. They kind of look like the characters from Spirited Away. If they touch you, you die. Kind of like they grab you. They're terrifying because they're just these silent like trackers that follow you around. But it seems like each chapter is broken up into a different stage of grief. I'm in the middle of the 3rd chapter, and that's where it's really done some of the coolest world manipulating that kind of makes me think the game is brilliant in a way. It almost pulled like a labyrinth move where I was running down a hallway forever, like just running in one direction, and I knew what was going to happen as soon as I turned around, but I waited just to see if there was any other secrets or anything. But you're just running down this corridor as long as you can, and then all of a sudden you stop and you turn around and it's completely open to a new world. Like they do a lot of cool things with
Pulled
that.
an Aladdin.
Yeah.
A whole new world.
Yeah.
Indeed. But like the problem is it's just tied with mechanics that I just don't like. But like all the character designs, there's this terrifying bird in chapter 2. So sorry, Chuck, you can't play it. That just swoops down out of nowhere, grabs you, and just rips you up in the sky, and you gotta start
Kumo.
back over.
Are there birds in
Oh,
Are there birds in Montana?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lots
So
of
you're
them.
fucked.
Shit.
There's
It's-
bald
I
eagles
don't know if you
there.
know this. It's the bald eagle.
Oh no!
It's the bald eagle capital of the world.
Oh, I like bald
I mean,
eagles.
they're gonna kill you.
Shit. I don't think I've. No, that's not true. Far Cry 3, I got killed by
I think
cassowaries
there's
all the time.
vultures, a lot of them there too.
Yeah, mechanical suits, flight jackets,
Yeah.
furry collars.
Yeah. Michael Keaton.
No. Oh
Um,
yeah, that. I was talking about something
I
else.
know you were.
The music is awesome in the game too. Like it looks cool. It definitely looks like it's an indie studio, but it's a big game for them to kind of come out of the gate with. So it's unfortunate. I wanted to love it a little bit more. I'm having a hard time
not
getting
quite there.
back into it after I took a break and played 100 hours of another game. But yeah, I mean it's kind of cool.
Trey is concentrating.
Yeah, I was trying to see what else we had to talk about.
Got a few games.
We got Drawn to Death to talk about.
So
Make
quickly,
it quick.
This game fucking sucks.
Moving on.
My God, it sucks. It looks so cool, and it's not. It tries to be like funny juvenile humor, but it's just like stupid and
So not Mad World fun.
no, it's dumb and kind of offensive.
I want Mad World.
No means yes. Yes means anal.
God, Mad World was so good.
But
It
like,
was alright.
it's a third-person
love that
shooter.
game.
I'm gonna stuff that garbage can like Kobe Bryant stuffs a prostitute.
It's a third-person shooter that doesn't work. I mean, there's not a whole lot safe to it. The look of it is cool, and
The
that,
idea
that
of like
is
the kid drawing in his notepad is really cool.
It's
but
literally the only redeeming quality of that game.
It's like Spider-Man. In his notebook,
Mm.
drawing.
Yeah. It's bad. Don't ever play it.
Yeah, good boy. Good boy.
It's not worth it to download for free.
But what did you think of the Zelda DLC?
That was worth it. I really liked it. It was a way to get the next DLC with stuff that I enjoyed along the way.
This is why I have not yet really put a whole lot of time into it. I made one run at
Got
the
about 10
Trial of
hours in
Swords into it, and I failed miserably around room 5. I don't like playing Zelda specifically on the Joy-Cons, So like I was playing it without it being on my TV, and I just couldn't do it. I need to play that game with my Pro Controller. The Trial of the Swords is awesome though.
It is really cool.
So the Trial of the Swords,
It's a large eventide island.
Basically, yeah. It starts you right at the beginning of this. There's 45 rooms. And there's 3 break-off points. So there's the beginning, the intermediate, and then there's the hard part. And basically, at each one of those, your Master Sword becomes like more powered up.
Yeah, you get increased by 10 points.
And you can also leave the world and come back and things like that. But you start off completely naked. You guys are gonna keep laughing. I get it. You start off like completely no armor or anything, no weapons. You only have your life bar based on where you were, but you can't use any of your champion's powers.
You can scavenge and you can use your runes.
You can use your runes, which thank God, bombs saved my ass a lot of times.
Yes.
But basically, you have to go through the 45 levels by keeping your weapons. I don't think you ever get armor from what I've seen.
I don't think so. I haven't.
Which is rough.
I got through stage 11 or 12, I think, and I was about to die and just gave up. For me, I just had a whole lot of fun going back through the world. Is they put in this cool little story bit of where you find this piece of paper and you're like, was this here before? And you come across it and it has a bunch of riddles about like places in the world that if you've beaten this game, you've probably come across these areas. So you're like, I know I've seen a place like this. So it gives a whole bunch of riddles and it leads you to places that have more clues. And it's a huge scavenger hunt to find all these cool little outfits that they've put into the game that give you new extra powers. And I've really enjoyed that. I've got almost all of the new outfits. The Hero's Path.
The Hero's Path is the best part of well, I mean, the Trial of Swords is probably the best, but the Hero's Path is awesome.
I love it. You can go back and it not only like from here on out will track your progress like on the map and does like the Indiana Jones like line. It will for the past
200 hours.
200 hours, right? It will like from when you started this game, it will go back and see where you started. And I was able to watch my whole journey.
Never heard about that. Sounds cool.
It even marks when you died.
And it makes a sound. He goes, "Ha!"
It's funny every fucking time.
And you can know when you hit a hard spot because if you're watching it fast, you just
go,
hear.
"Ha, ha, ha!"
It's a lot. I died 80 times. I counted. I watched the whole thing and then doubted how many times
I was nowhere near that much. That's insane.
Well, I also tried to do like crazy stuff at times.
Josh just said you sucked.
No.
A lot of that was me like in the cold trying to do crazy stuff
implied sucking.
And trying to find a way to get off of the map.
That's fair.
Because I do stupid stuff like that.
Maybe I was probably around 50 actually, so that's actually a lot. But like for me, the only part that it was funny because I could specifically remember parts of my gameplay just by watching what I was doing on the map, which I thought was really cool.
You remember the first time you fight a Lionel up above the Zoras?
Yeah.
And you're nowhere near like equipped to fight a Lionel if that's the first place you went? Mm-hmm. I fought him for like 3 hours and died like 30 times.
For me, it was, I remember specifically, is after I made it to Kakariko Village and I wanted to start exploring, I went to the shrine up there, and then I just went straight north, which is actually kind of toward the Zora's domain. But there's a sleeping Hinox there.
Oh, yeah, I found him.
Yeah, I ran across him, like, in the middle of a rainstorm, and I died, like, 15 times on him. I just saw me going the exact same path over and over again.
I killed him.
That was when I was trying to mess around with the whole lightning thing. You could drop, like, a piece of metallic
Metal,
armor or whatever, and the lightning would strike by it. I tried forever, and finally I just ran in the other direction. I was so pissed.
I spent, like, an hour fighting him and never died and finally killed him. I just kept bombing him and running, like, repeatedly.
That was early enough to not know how to fight them.
Question, is how I feel right now how you feel when we talk about most things?
Yes.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
I like Zelda.
I like Zelda a lot.
We haven't talked about it in a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been like a
It
month.
was like the last official game show, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was 2 months ago.
That's fair. I'm going to talk briefly about this. Hopefully we can talk about it on the next show too, but I have been starting to play Marvel Heroes Omega, which is a game that I played back in beta on PC, right when we probably started this podcast. It is a Diablo-like, basically, where you can play a lot of different Marvel characters.
I forgot to get Destiny beta codes.
Of course you did.
Way to go.
Continue.
Sorry.
I want
this all down.
I'd like to try this.
This game is the closest you're going to get in a while to a new X-Men Legends.
Son of a bitch, I love X-Men.
Like basically you've got four.
So good.
Your 4 face buttons are the powers you earn as you level up your character, and you can hold the L2 button or the left trigger to open up a secondary set. So you have a total of 8 moves you can have set at one time. They go really, at least for me, deep in the Marvel lore for like some of the characters. Like Magic is a character you can play as.
Lonnie Rasputin, yeah.
Or and it was like Angel or something along those lines.
Angela?
Angela, that was it.
She's a pretty large character.
Is
now.
she? Never heard of her.
It's Thor's sister. She actually originated as a Spawn character, and they when they were going bankrupt, they sold the rights to the character to Marvel, and she's Thor's sister,
All right.
and she's Queen of Hell.
So basically, like, this
And
is
she's
all,
gay.
yeah, okay. So this is, I mean, literally just an Avengers like
Gay?
dungeon crawler, and it's a loot grab. So like, you
Loot.
can. The cool thing is you can absolutely like you can play any character in the game up to level 10 for free. The game itself is free, and then
If you
can,
said I missed, how many characters are there?
I mean, there's probably 20 or so.
Okay.
There's
Like-
20 characters, and Angela made it.
I
Yeah,
think
that's
so.
the-
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up
When
the
you
list
said
here.
Angela, I was like, oh, there must be like 150 of these characters.
Yeah, that's surprising. I mean, cool, but
I mean, they might not give
You're
some
fine.
of the
I can look
money
it up later. Let's
No, I
characters,
know.
continue talking.
I just want to see like
until later. You buy it or whatever.
yeah.
you can also you can earn in-game currency with any of those characters to unlock them. So you actually could technically unlock every
If
character
you
for
grind
free.
long enough,
Yeah, I'm about like I could unlock Kitty
How long do you
Pryde.
have to bump?
I mean, it's a give and take.
It's
relationship.
about an equal ratio as long as it comes before it.
It's a
though.
yin and yang situation.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
about 50 bump, 50 grind,
Okay.
and then repeat, rinse and repeat.
Okay.
But
you
yeah,
stop-
like I mean, I could right now. I
Okay,
have
so
enough
I mean,
shards to unlock Kitty Pryde if I want, or a couple of different characters. It's interesting as to how they're tiered. I'm trying right now. I've got my Gambit up to level 10, and I kind of
Of
want
course
to
you
unlock
do.
him fully, but I don't want to spend the money. It is like so. I don't mind giving the money to the developer because I like the game, but it is like it's $15 to unlock a single character.
Oh shit!
That's insane.
But
$15
it
for
also-
what? How many characters are there?
well, I was going to look at
Hundreds, probably. I mean, Marvel's because they got
There's 40.
Oh, that's not that. Well,
In
still
the
40
console
times
version?
15.
I don't know. I just looked up a
Holy
wiki.
fuck!
I mean, again, they also have like bundles and specials and things like that go on. But everything
Hopefully
in
it's
this
buy
game
one
basically,
character, get 39 free.
they also give you the ability, like I said, to play each one up to 10 to see if it's a character you actually want to spend the money in. By the time you get that character maxed out, after that, you're gonna have got enough shards to unlock another character.
God almighty.
I'm literally halfway to the most expensive character,
So
and
4
I've only got one
characters
character
is
up
the
to 10.
price
Who's
of
the
a
most
full
expensive?
game.
Wolverine is 500. I want to say Deadpool is 500.
The popular people.
Popular.
Yeah, I mean Gambit's 500.
What?
Oh,
That's shocking.
I don't know. I mean,
Apparently, whoever's making this game doesn't know what the fuck they're doing.
Shut
I'm
up.
out.
Have you read
Uh,
Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe again?
Not yet.
The first character dies Gambit. You'll really enjoy it.
God damn
Deadpool
it.
just went up like 6 spots at least.
Was it with
on
a
my top
strap
20
on?
list.
No, he impels it with his own bow staff.
so a strap on.
He uses the best weapon to kill the shittiest character. How appropriate.
Continue. Sorry.
Blades in it. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, I mean it's actually it's really fun. You actually get Daredevil for free completely when you start the game. So you do have
He is
somebody.
like the standard character for
It's
that.
Yeah.
absolutely. It's just kind of their throwaway
Hello,
giveaway character,
B
but
list.
it's cool. I mean, like they go deep with like the villains you fight and everything as well, and like the super villains when you get to
Tell
them.
me a
it's a
villain
lot
you
of
didn't
fun.
know existed that you found.
Well, I don't remember anymore.
Shit.
I'm sorry.
I know. I enjoyed this.
Was
Yeah.
it Negative Man?
Yes.
Man, I wish I was a higher tier character. This game sucks.
It's really cloudy out today.
But yeah, it's really cool because there are a lot of common areas that you're like just running around and like there are 20 or 30 other people playing at one time, and you like everybody. If you kill anything, everybody drops loot, so you get your own specific instance loot basically. So I mean, you could just join up with anybody, or when you go and do the actual story missions, it instants out, so it's just you playing, and you can then create a party that way. So
Cool.
I thought it was really fun.
Was it Taskmaster?
Yeah, Taskmaster.
I
They
like
didn't have-
Taskmaster.
Yeah, he's got
Or-
a great
No, I know
look. And he's
Tombstone?
weirdly, like kind of a.
Are you looking at the villains
Yep.
now?
wisecracking guy?
I don't know.
Was
man.
it Gorgon?
I don't know. But
Gorgon's in this?
Yep. Was it Blob and Toad, which apparently is one villain now?
Was it Fin Fan Foom?
talk about Nier.
Was it Lady
we're
Deathstrike?
Still going?
This is the last one, I think.
Oh my god, I hope so.
I think there was technically one more, but we could skip
No,
it.
skip it.
What's
Living
the-
Laser?
No,
Oh
you're
my
right.
God,
Nier
Living
is the last
Laser is in this game.
Yeah, Living Laser was the one. I don't remember. I never knew him.
Jesus Christ.
I've only heard of Living Laser. That is a deep cut.
He's in the tutorial mission.
Holy shit, that is deep.
Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to download that.
It would be a blast for us to play. It's basically like the Lara Croft games, but without the frustrating puzzles.
Where Chuck said, "Never again."
He's like,
I'm
"Fuck it,
never
I'm
playing
out."
that game again. We couldn't figure out a fucking puzzle. We were like 3 hours in. We're stuck.
I think that's more of a
Dude.
commentary on us.
Fair.
We couldn't find the solution online either. Stupid
Moon
fucking
Knight's in it.
game.
So Nier, is it Automata or Automata or?
Yep.
Okay.
Kind of.
Uh,
Automata is what I hear most
The new
often.
Nier that's out right now.
Nier A.
So I had never heard of Nier. When Square Enix had their E3 presser 2-3 years ago, when this
Mhm.
was announced, these are all the weird character heads they were on stage, and I was like, "Get this shit off
Oh,
the
yeah, that's
stage!"
right.
I was like, "What is this?" It's so
I really enjoyed the
stupid.
first one.
I'd never heard of it.
It's the first M-rated Square Enix game.
So
I didn't know that.
this game got great ratings. I watched the trailer for it, and I was like, "Holy shit, this does kind of look cool." I've never looked up what happened in the first game or anything like that. It evidently doesn't really matter because
Good.
I've been straight. I didn't get any backstory to kind of what was happening, but it didn't really seem to matter. Now this is a game all you want to play. So listen, because I will give you and you at home hints on how to better play this game, because it is very kind of figure it out.
Tell him a story.
I was doing this like
By the lovely lady.
Thank you. Someone had to say it. I didn't want it to be me.
I hate the Brady Bunch.
Thank you again. It's awful. It's fucking awful.
What for that theme song? Oh, also
Canceled.
yeah, exactly. The main guy, Greg Brady, whoever it is, like hit on Kristen when he was like 60 and she was like 18.
That's about right.
Yeah.
Did he have to pull back beaded curtains to do it?
Probably. It was his pubes.
All right, so Nier.
Don't you no my wife.
This is an insanely good game. It's probably my number 2 for this year. It is my number 2 for this year, only behind Zelda. Because Zelda is probably my favorite game of all time. It is very much like Bayonetta, except the story's not quite that crazy Japanese. It's not as good of combat, but it's very much in the same vein, and it has a lot of extra stuff to it. You play as an android. It's your character. You're fighting for the humans, which were ran off by aliens who sent a robot army to Earth a long time ago. That is
I hate when they do that.
Right. That's all the backstory I got. This game is so many different styles of games. Like I say, it's like Bayonetta, but also you open up and you come in like a Gundam style suit, and you start playing. It looks like Galaga as you're just flying her all over the screen in an air battle. And then all of a sudden, the wings fold out, and you stand up, and you start fighting. And it's a twin stick shooter. All of a sudden,
That's awesome.
and then you come down, and then you're playing like the camera's really cool because they do some interesting things with the angles, but it's never frustrating. But all of a sudden, sometimes you're fighting in a like top down view because you've gone into a corridor. And this is all on the first level, mind you. And
Holy
then
shit.
then you make it to the boss, which is like dwarfs like several God of War style bosses because he's gigantic. And I was like,
This sounds
what
very
the
yeah.
fuck
very
am I
anime.
playing? I was like, this is amazing. Throughout all this, you're mixing up your play styles, but the main thing for combat is 2 buttons and a dodge. Like there's strong hit, weak hit, dodge, and dodging is very important to
Yeah, I hear the
combat.
mechanics of it are less the draw and more the like replayability and the story of it.
It is. Now the mechanics are good, but yeah, they don't live up to in a world where Bayonetta came out. It doesn't live up to
In a
that.
world.
Damn it.
Maybe not even to like a Devil May Cry, but more similar to Devil May Cry. Because in the fact you can always be shooting a gun. Like I don't understand. They never explain it, but like you have a gun that's not attached to your body, and neither really are your weapons. You just kind of force push them around.
Okay.
But if you can learn to
I'm
keep your
interested.
hand pulled down on the trigger, you can constantly be firing a gun while you're pulling off combos with 2 different swords. So yes, it gets pretty crazy. Again, you're an android, and they play up the story with that. Pretty interesting. If you die, you can go back and retrieve your body. You can come across other people real life players that have died that they just put in like your server, I guess. If
Oh,
It's
it's
you're
like
Dark
Dead-
Souls method.
Dead Souls started that.
yeah,
the
and
first
you can go by and collect all the upgrades that
Demon
they've
Souls.
done.
Demon Souls.
Or
Sorry.
you can resurrect their body and make it your battle slave. And
Okay.
it just follows you around.
R.
and
Kelly style.
yeah. And it will
Oh,
like
bring it
go
back.
it goes ham. Like if you walk in and you walk by enemies,
Trey style.
yeah. Like if you're gonna sneak by enemies and you've resurrected one of those things, it's like, nope, we're fighting. and it just goes and attacks. So it's really fun. Some pointers. There are a lot of you level up throughout this. There are a lot of side missions. Do them if you come across them organically and the solution is organic. Don't go out of your way. You will spend hours, and it really doesn't fucking matter at all unless you want 100% this game, which is damn near impossible because it keeps changing.
What I like about this game is because the big thing that everybody's talking about is you got to play it at least 3 times to really get
the
full
everything they want from the
breadth of
story.
what
There's 26 endings, and they're A through Z endings.
But they've put an in-game store in that basically once you've played it the requisite 3 times, you could technically with in-game currency. Yeah, I almost puked there. You could with in-game currency just buy everything else you need.
Kind of.
You can literally buy the trophies if you want to platinum this game.
You can,
which is interesting.
But I will say every time you play it kind of gets shorter. For one, you know what you're doing, but you change characters a lot too. You have a sidekick throughout this whole thing. It's a boy android, but he is way more hacker faced. You okay?
Yeah, keep going.
I mean, you're just pointing.
Yeah, I'm pointing to Charlotte Pipe.
Oh, okay.
So Chuck's not doing well.
He's way more hacker based.
I have to pee real bad. I'm trying to distract myself.
That's fine. Go ahead.
No, keep going.
Okay, all the combat changes with him. You can literally, as a final strike, you can hit him and all of a sudden tap into him, and you have to play a hacking mini game, and you can start taking over robots. But you also play missing levels. You find out where he is when he's missing from the first story you play through.
It's a cool twist on the perspective from what I've heard.
You come with chipsets, which they don't really ever explain as you go into it, and you start collecting loot basically throughout the whole thing, and that can level up vastly how you play, and you use points that you've earned, the in-game currency, I guess, to unlock more slots, but use those. It never explains really what to do, but figure it out, because you can be I beat the first time and I was like, this was kind of hard, but it's because I never used a chipset, and then I put it in at the end of the game, and I was wrecking shop all of a sudden. I was like,
gotcha.
Oh, I just didn't do this right. So it can be kind of counterintuitive at sometimes, but there's a lot of cool little things that it does with the fact that you're an android. When you die, your whole screen will start, you will have to reboot up every single time. They do some really neat things. Traversal is your character you zap your mind across and another body comes out of basically a vending machine. There are some it's a crazy game. It's Japanese as fuck, and it's probably the best game that a lot of people won't play this year.
Cool. Yeah, I definitely am looking forward to getting in and getting in a shot before we do our awards this year for sure.
There's such a thing called a banana waffle burrito.
I'd eat it.
Yeah,
it's
man.
delicious.
All right. Well, on that stellar note, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up this week. Thank you guys for listening. Actually, only 2 hours. I thought it was going to be a much longer podcast.
Same here.
Yeah, also for listeners, thank you so much. But remember that we are putting a huge focus on YouTube lately. We've been putting up a lot of videos, not just kind of an intro and outro and some exclusive content during the podcast, but some individual things as well. Evan's been putting out some season of TV reviews as he finishes them, kind of a 10 to 15-minute recap and his view on them. And we're hoping to do that with all of us. So definitely make sure you check out Free For All on YouTube, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
And now for the YouTube exclusive outro. Thank you so much for watching. Link in the description. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media platforms. Link in the description.
It sounds like you're saying lick in the description.
Link in the description.
Lincoln?
Yes.
Link?
It's a solid movie.
Yes.
There are links in the description.
There we go.
For our
Thank
Facebook and our Twitter.
So hyperlinks.
As well, yes.
Okay,
as well
that makes
as
more sense.
our...
I've had too much sugar.
As well as freeforgeeks.com, free4geeks.com. There is a link for that.
In the description.
Yes, it's in the description. Also, how to find us on iTunes.
Description. I just feel like I should say it too.
There you go.
We are really going to try to put a focus on that and do a better job with that as we try to be your source for all things geek. So help us out with that. Please comment. Tell us what you're wanting as we kind of go into a new venture. We are open to all ideas. Remember, Chuck-a-Vision actually happened once. So we
And
will-
it'll happen
Never
again with
again.
your help.
with your help, that is the only way that will happen.
Comment
literal
below
only way.
if you want to see
Yes,
Chuck-a-Vision
but please
again.
comment below. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you'd like to see from us, and we'll try to make it happen. And
Can we
would you
make
like to have the final
Pop-Tarts, candy, cotton candy, and Lucky Charms?
only if someone comments about it.
do it, because that looks awesome. Look at that.
Make it happen.
Make it happen is the best advice I can give everybody about their life. So thank you so much.